I know there was a point in time where you were wondering whether coup d'etat can happen in Ghana. After we saw a couple of them in Burkina Faso, in Niger, in Mali, people were asking, so when is it going to get to Ghana? Not because Ghanaians were so much in expectation of coup d'etat, because we know that it is not a good thing, but due to the state that the country was in at the time, some people believe that the only thing that could just give us hope is coup d'etat. But do you know that people actually planned to overthrow Akufo-Addo's government? Well, in 2019, it is now in the light that some people actually tried, but they were thwarted. What happened and how did they do it? Ladies and gentlemen, a minister has given accounts on how everything happened and why that coup d'etat in 2019 wasn't a success. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dynamic TV Plus. Please do well to subscribe to the channel for us and also like the video for us so other people will also get in touch with the video.
He's about to go now.
Now, after Captain Ibrahim Traore seizing power in Burkina Faso, well, at that point in time, Ghanaians were finding it so difficult to, navigate their way through. Like the way Akufo-Addo and his government, they were ruling. No, it looks as if the only hope for Ghanaians were, a coup d'etat. It wasn't as if Ghanaians didn't know or Ghanaians don't know the risk involved in a coup, plotting and all those things, But it looks as if they were still yearning for that. Most especially when Ghanaians saw that Ibrahim Traore's transition to power, it was a very success and very peaceful one. So they were just hoping, say, okay, so could anybody at all seize power in a way and manner that Ibrahim Traore did? It created a whole lot of conversations, and people even started coming up with, fake news and all that there were certain military leaders who are, plotting and planning to overthrow Akufo-Addo's administration, Akufo-Addo's government and all that. Look, in as much as coup is not a very beautiful scene and a very beautiful idea, people were still rooting for that. Because Akufo-Addo's administration, the whole tyrant nature of the whole ruling, the point where it looks as if he is a god and nobody can just talk back at him. The way he was ruling the country, everybody was just fed up. At some point in time, the country needed somebody else and everybody was rooting for another person, even if it would take a coup d'etat for that person to be a president. There was a point in time where Eseodun Ketia, the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, granted an interview and even said that Ghana is ripe for coup d'etat.
If what you say is the case, do you then agree, or would you say that Ghana's current democratic environment has laid a foundation for what we've seen in the sub-region where we've had upheavals and coup d'etat?
We have gone beyond that. The only thing that is saving us is the tolerance of Ghanaians.
You mean that Ghana is ripe for a coup d'etat?
I'm saying that it's more than ripe for a coup d'etat, but the only thing, if we go by our own history, we see that the things that have led to coup d'etat in this country were even less than what is happening now. But the only thing that is saving us is the tolerance and our collective history. That there may be situations that you don't like, and you may be tempted to think that nowhere can be worse than where we are now. So let us disrupt. You disrupt. You have some relief. But the relief will be short-lived. And the relief can lead you into another problem, where the new leaders will also be equally intransigent. So it means that you have not solved the problem. And that knowledge by Ghanaians is what we are hanging on now.
Well, so after Eseodun Ketia saying this, it made some people worried. Like, where are we getting to? Even he emphasized that looking at our history, if we are taking precedences into account, looking at the levels that we went to for some of the coup d'etats that we saw to happen, it means that we have gone too far. And so it could happen any moment. But he also said that the only strength that is holding Ghana tight is that bond, is that sense of togetherness, that sense that Ghanaians have, that you see, even if I overthrow this government, what is the probability that the next one is going to do the right thing? And that is the only thought. That was the only strength that was keeping the nation together. Now, fast forward, in 2025, there has been an interview by the former Minister for Defense, Mr. Dominic Ntiwu, where he talked about the countless of times that they had to thwart coup planning and coup plotting. He even talked about and made emphasis on 2019 coup d'etat, where he said it got to him. He heard it. He heard them planning. He saw them planning that they wanted to overthrow Akufo-Addo's government.
The armed forces. Do you think, sir, because I've heard people say, Ghana, Osha how Anyoma Ako, the media pluralism and the fact that so many radio stations, it's virtually impossible for a coup d'etat to happen. Oh, now one day, but that's the reality.
In 2019, I watched it. I watched people planning. As we set up people, they followed the people for 1 year. Now we record for 1 full year. Planning. And what was the plan? Very simple. You're making sure say Ghana becomes ungovernable. Grenades. Now yes, then we start bombing few places. You better drop it high, But even these are national security things. I don't think I will talk. I'll tell you off air, but it's very possible. Your media, it takes only 1 day to say, no. What can you do?
Yeah, but if you do that announcement on a Sempa,
you are not getting me.
There are other.
You are not getting me. So who feels like Burkina now media, so many radio stations. And I said Guinea. Now we need so many radio stations. And I said Mali. Who feels like now we need so many radio stations. When I catch you, sir, they had so many radio stations. Why don't the radio stations save them? There are so many things that can happen. What I feel is say you should have a loyal, dedicated armed forces that will stand and fight for the country, regardless of whoever comes.
Do we have that now?
I'm always.
What challenges?
Yes. But I'm almost certain. Say your hobby.
With what challenges accommodation?
Accommodation. There, it's a normal problem that Ghana. They know said Ghana cannot provide everything at once, and that with even the difficult economic challenge you're facing as a country since 2020 that we face as a country around the world. So they watch news around the world. They see what is happening in other areas. America is complaining. UK complain. Things are hard. Everybody is complaining. But still, the government will provide accommodation for them.
Now, so with this, it is crystal clear that people were fed up with the Akufo-Addo's administration. And so they wanted to do everything possible to end the tenure, even before the 2024 general election, where it was held on 7th of December. People couldn't even wait any longer for the 7th December. It looked as if it was so long a time to wait for the general election. So they wanted to just cut everything shortcuts. But my thing is this. Why do you think an ordinary Ghanaian, why do you think a Ghanaian would think of a coup d'etat as a means of, resolving situation which had to do with tyranny in governance? Because there wasn't a point in time where after 2000, where Kufuor got the power, where we just decided to go by this democratic way of governance, of ruling. There hasn't been a point in time where it has been known to the public that somebody somewhere has actually planned to overthrow a certain government in this republic. And so if it did, if some people did, then it should tell you how furious the people were and how angry the people were. In as much as we are not supporting coup d'etat, and we don't even think coup d'etat could happen in Ghana, the only thing that we can say is that, look, if you push people to the wall, if you keep pushing people to the wall, you will see the other side of them, which you may not want to see. Because everybody has that dark side. But at some point in time, some people believe in where they are coming from. Some people believe in the circle. Some people believe in the background that they decide to kowtow to every tyranny and everything that the society or the government of the day throws at them. But the question is, for how long can they conform to that kind of leadership? Mahama is now in charge. I'm just hoping that some of these things, we are not even going to hear from it, or we are not even going to hear of it, because some of these things, they don't speak good. Some of these things, they don't speak good. So if in 2019, some of these things happened, and it took the intervention of the defense minister then, and also some of the armed forces to thwart these things, then it tells you that, look, we are at a point where the youth of the country, we are at a point where some people in the country think that they've had enough, especially looking at the things that Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. He took power. It was very swift. It was harmless. And when he got the power, he's using it positively to affect lives. And that is the kind of leaders that people think we want. That is the kind of leaders that Ghanaians think we deserve. And we know what we want at this point in time. So if you think you are going to use the style of ruling in somewhere in 2000s, in 2004, in 2006 to 2016 to rule as if, like we still live in those age where if somebody is born to a particular political party, the person thinks that he or she owes allegiance to such a political party. Look, those fallacies do not exist again. Hence, I am only saying that I wish President Mahama can do the needful. I know from all indications that he's trying his best, but I'm just praying that his best should be enough. So some of these things, we are not going to hear from it, or we are not even going to experience it. Because I tell you, from how people have risen, the awakening, and the kind of mentality that people are building, look, if anything should happen, looking at what NPP did, if NDC should repeat the same thing, look, it's going to be chaotic. I am not wishing bad, I am not wishing evil, but it is not going to end well, which is why I'm saying that I wish and I'm praying for the president of the day to deliver on his promises and even deliver more, far more than what we are expecting. Because if in any case he has a vision, he has a plan to still stay in power after his tenure in 2028, then probably he has to do some things right. And that is the more reason why it gives me hope that, Mahama might do one of two things, so that he can earn his ticket to probably continue from the 2028 tenure that he is mandated to run. So probably he can outrun his office. You understand? Yeah, so let me know what you think in the comment section. Did you even thought of it that some people had even planned a coup d'etat before, but then it had been a failed coup d'etat? Did you know of it? And if you did, how was the feeling? Were you disappointed that at some point in time it never happened? Where to me, I would say that I am very proud of the Ghana Armed Forces and the defense minister then for just standing his grounds and getting to thwart all these things. They are unnecessary at this point. I feel like we have the thumb and we have the minds to make the correct and the right decisions for ourselves and also our generation yet unborn. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your usual back-to-back channel as far as information dissemination is concerned. My name still remains Nanel Dynamic. See you in the next one, but let me know what you think in your comment section. I'm out.
Family 3940, guess what? You are watching Dynamic TV Plus. Keep on watching, subscribe, share, then leave your comments. One time, big love.